Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, March the 4th. We are here to look at the new releases that are published this week. And on Wednesdays, we look at the darker side. We look at crime fiction and thrillers. So grittier, procedurals, PIs, psychologicals, things like that. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching now, thank you very much. If you're watching later, appreciate it. It's a morning show, so not everybody gets up. Not everybody's a morning person. Steve sure isn't. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. That one goes for 2 hours. And then again on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that one goes for 5. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And there will be a morning show on Friday because the cozy mystery publishing industry is cranking up again. Let's take a look at crime fiction and thrillers. First up, Two Bodies Are Better Than One by Erica Ruth Neubauer. First in the Lorraine Highsmith mysteries. Until 1989, the wildest thing to happen in the sleepy town of Sheboygan Bay was surfers catching waves on frigid Lake Michigan. Then one summer morning, Lorraine Highsmith wakes up to find a corpse on her lawn. Detective Michaela Mike Zanoni is on the case immediately, eager to make a name for herself in a male-dominated precinct, and Lorraine is close behind. As the local advice columnist, she's always looking for a scoop. What they don't know is that Lorraine once had ties to the mob, and those connections could be coming back to haunt her. A recent transplant to Wisconsin, she keeps her past shrouded in mystery, and she'd like to keep it that way. Mike might be working with her to find the killer, but Lorraine knows that alliances can change on a dime. She needs to get ahead of this story, no matter who's trying to put an end to hers. "30 Feet Under" by William Wadhams. We will pronounce it that way. When a museum in Italy is robbed and the guard murdered, the Carabinieri art squad ask for Kate Taylor's help searching for the thieves. After working in the FBI art crimes team for years, doing little but updating files and computer work, she's thrilled to work on a real case. Yet there's something unusual about their request. It's a small, unremarkable marble sphinx that was stolen. Why would the Carabinieri care? Still, she's looking forward to some excitement and adventure. Besides, Luca, the Carabinieri's, they're making me say it over and over. Agent has big, beautiful eyes. Kate finds out the Sphinx is the key to unraveling one of the greatest mysteries in archaeology, the lost tomb of the legendary king. Before long, she's searching for suspects in an international smuggling ring. People are dying. She doesn't know who she can trust, including Luca, and time is running out. Kate has 2 weeks to solve a 3,000-year-old mystery before its treasures are looted and vanish forever. Back in New York, Paul Klugman is about to give up his dream of becoming a dealer of ancient art. Then he gets a call from an eccentric art collector who will change his life forever. He soon finds the success and wealth he's always wanted, but the price is higher than he ever expected, and the truth is buried deeper than the artifacts. That sounds like it would be good for a Garbogus pick. Thomas Perry has a new one. Dorothy, good morning. Welcome in. She says, I finally caught you live. Oh, I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good morning. The Tree of Light and Flowers, 10th in the Jane Whitefield series by Thomas Perry. A violent car crash brings on the premature birth of the baby that Jane Whitefield and her husband have hoped for, but it also shatters the period of calm in their lives like an earthquake triggering a tectonic shift. Within weeks, Jane's peaceful time as a new mother in a safe, harmonious home starts to revert to her harrowing previous life. She had spent over a decade rescuing and sheltering people from dangerous foes, taking them to new locations, and teaching them to live under new identities. It was something that she hoped to never have to do again. Nearly simultaneously, as though the events were connected, people who are thousands of miles apart in vastly different circumstances start to move. Some of them are in terrible need of help finding a route to safety. Some are dedicated to serving justice. Others are determined to capture the woman who makes people disappear so they can force her to reveal where their potential victims are now. All of these travelers are soon on their way to the old house in western New York. Suddenly, the people requiring Jane's special skills include not only multiple fugitives, but also Jane herself, her husband, and their newborn, as the danger she faces comes from people who know how to find her. She'll need to use everything she's ever learned in order to survive. Kind of a bleh cover, but I never did read this series. I think they made a TV series about it too. This one's interesting. As I was setting up this morning, it caught my eye because the author, Marceau Miller, is also a part of the title. So I was like, is this an autobiography? It isn't. The Story of Marceau Miller by Marceau Miller. In the beautiful and dangerous landscape of Lake Geneva in the shadow of the Swiss Alps, renowned writer Marceau Miller is found dead. In the wake of the tragedy, his wife Sarah discovers a manuscript he's left behind entitled The Story of Marceau Miller. With the support of close friends, Sarah struggles to hold herself together while caring for her 2 children and coping with the mounting questions surrounding her famous husband's death. Was it an accident or part of some darker game? Compelled to find the truth, Sarah unravels secrets that make her question everything and everyone around her. Who can she possibly trust? Her journey from grief to revelation captures the nuance of marriage to a man who remains an enigma. Who is Marceau Miller really? And it says this is one of the year's most addictive thrillers. Marks the debut of a gifted new author, Marceau Miller, who may or may not be the man at the center of the novel himself. End of that row. I believe it's fiction. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat, I do. A Defiant Woman by Karen E. Olson, second in a modern Tudor mystery. 8 years ago, Nan Tudor escaped her husband, billionaire businessman Hank Tudor, afraid for her life and leaving a dead body behind. But in doing so, she abandoned her 3-year-old daughter, Lizzie. Still racked with guilt for that decision, she's living a quiet life as a restaurant cook in France with her son when she receives a mysterious text, "We have your daughter." Lured back to the scene of the crime on Martha's Vineyard by a threat against Lizzie's life, Nan believes the kidnapper is exacting revenge against her, stopping at nothing to do so, and discovers that she and her daughter may not be the only targets. Kate Parker, Hank's 6th and latest wife, is also on the island and drawn into the kidnapper's elaborate web of retaliation. Keeping their alliance secret from Hank's fixer, Thomas Cromwell, investigator Steve Gardner, and reporter Tom Seymour, the 2 women find themselves in a race against time to rescue Lizzie and to make sure they both stay alive. Look, if you're going to do a story about Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII, and everybody around that, do a story about them. If you want to write a contemporary Kid Jep story, do that. You don't have to tell us what your inspiration was. Bah! Get off my lawn. That is a busy cover. The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives by Elizabeth Arnott. Beverly, Elsie, and Margot are not your average housewives. They are wives of convicted killers. During the sun-drenched summer of 1966, the 3 women form an unlikely friendship after the discoveries of their husbands' brutal crimes. With their exes, some of California's most infamous murderers, dead or behind bars, they are attempting to forge a new future for themselves. Headstrong Beverly tries compulsively to maintain control of everything around her, all while raising 2 children. Bookish Elsie fights to make a name for herself in the newsroom, working among men who sneer at her career goals. Glamorous Margot prefers partying to homemaking and devotes all her energy to upholding the appearance that everything is fine. Anything to quell the shame from her husband's deceit. They know people are looking at them and think only one thing: how could they not have known what their husbands were doing? How much are they to blame? And yet, when a string of local killings hits the news, the 3 women, underestimated, overlooked, shrewd, decide to get to work. After all, who better to catch a killer than those who have shared their lives and homes with one? The Only One Who Knows by Lisa M. Matlin. Oops. With her polished persona as a morning show co-host, Minnow Greenwood seems to have it all, but behind the camera something's about to break. When a public meltdown shatters her facade, Minnow flees back to Kangaroo Bay, a grimy fishing town on Australia's southern coast where locals vanish and something deadly hunts in the water. On her first night back, a horrifying shark attack rocks the town, adding another body to the unsettling list of deaths and disappearances. Then a former colleague arrives to investigate, so she reluctantly teams up with him to find answers for herself and keep her own dark secrets buried. But with danger closing in, Minnow must unearth her town's deadly past and face the darkness festering inside her before she becomes the next to disappear. The only one she knows was that. Strangers in the Villa by Robin Harding. Oops, it keeps jumping on me. Sydney Lowe's life in New York is shattered when her husband Curtis admits to a meaningless affair with a client. Begging for forgiveness and vowing to prove his devotion, Curtis suggests the couple retreat to a remote hilltop house in Spain to repair their marriage. Don't do it. High above the Mediterranean, Sydney and Curtis are working on the isolated property and their relationship when a pair of Australian travelers turns up at their door in dire need of help. Lonely for companionship and desperate for free labor, Sydney and Curtis invite the attractive young couple to stay. But as the days pass, dark secrets come to light and Lowe's bond is tested, and not everyone will leave the villa alive. End of that row. Path of Terror by Logan Riles, second in the Ian Hale series. Ian Hale was once the deadliest operator of a top-tier private security firm, but after walking away from the world for good, he has no intention of going back, or so he thinks. When word reaches Hale of an orphanage caught in the crossfire of a brutal South Sudanese civil war, a war he feels partly responsible for starting, there's no chance he won't answer the call, but what starts as a rescue mission quickly turns into something far more dangerous. The battlefield is crawling with killers and not just local Sudanese militants. Hale has stumbled headlong into a complex game of geopolitical chess, where rival superpowers are manipulating the conflicts of an impoverished nation in hope of pillaging its natural resources. When Hale discovers that one of those puppet masters may be his own country, he has one shot to stop a global catastrophe before it ignites. With only his old partner, Lainey Shaw, serving as a lifeline, Hale will fight through a war zone to expose the truth and take the fight to the enemy, because if he fails, thousands will die. The war is coming, but Ian Hale stands in the gap. Dun dun dun. No One is Safe by Ellie Marney. Noon thriller, book number 1. Simon Noon is a serial killer, but he doesn't know it. Pulled from a river in Guatemala in 1982 with nothing, not even his memories, he returns to America 5 years later looking for answers. He finds work at an New York City meatpacking plant and meets rebel ex-cop turned private investigator Nomi Pace, but she has problems all her own. Nomi agrees to help Simon if he lends his mysterious talents to solving a child kidnapping case. The two team up and make headway on both investigations, growing closer with every step. But when Nomi discovers the dark truth about Simon's murderous past, he quickly turns from asset to liability. Nomi contemplates her next move. Meanwhile, the weight of Simon's deeds hangs like a dripping carcass on a meat hook. Ew. Were his homicidal urges erased along with his memory, or is there a sinister reason why his deft hand itches for the butcher's cleaver? Well, I think he's found a healthy alternative. I Came Back for You by Kate White. 10 years after her daughter, Melanie, was murdered, Bree Winter is finally moving on with a new love, a new home, and a new beginning. Then a deathbed confession from the convicted killer throws Bree's life into a tailspin all over again. He readily confesses to murdering 4 girls, but not Melanie. At first, Bree and her ex-husband don't buy a word of it until inconsistencies about the crime emerge. So does the dreadful feeling that the monster who shattered Bree's family isn't lying. The only way she can get to the truth is to power through the trauma and return to the town in upstate New York where Melanie's life came to a brutal end. Bree will do anything to find justice for her daughter and finish this nightmare forever. Instead, it's just beginning. Not only could the real killer still be in their midst, but as Bree begins to dig through Melanie's past, what she discovers calls into question everything she has believed about the crime and about Melanie herself. Maybe she's not really dead. Read it and find out. And then report back to us. Buried Lies by Peter O'Mahony. O'Mahony. Third in the Dean Lincoln legal thrillers. When Dean Lincoln takes on the high-profile appeal of a man accused of killing a respected South Carolina judge, he knows the case is stacked against him. But as Lincoln digs deeper, he uncovers more than procedural missteps. He finds a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of power. With dangerous men closing ranks and witnesses going silent, Lincoln must risk everything to unravel a web of corruption before it buries him next. Because in a town where justice is just another commodity, exposing the truth might be the deadliest move of all. I wonder if the author chose the last name Lincoln as a way to tie into a Lincoln lawyer kind of thing. Who knows? Maybe he just likes the name. Maybe he's trying to tie it into Abraham Lincoln. We don't know. Dorothy says not. Hi, Cajun. Drive by. You said California as I was typing California for a filter. Kind of freaky. I'm watching you. Actually, you're watching me. Ah! A Bad Place by Francis Crawford. Glasgow, 1979. If it hadn't been for her wee stupid dog, Sid Vicious, 12-year-old Janie Devine might never have stumbled upon the corpse of Samantha Watson, and then maybe she'd still be able to sleep at night, and maybe her Nana wouldn't be so worried all the time, and maybe Billy the Ghost Watson, a notorious gangster, wouldn't be on her tail. For it's Billy's daughter who was left for dead on those train tracks, and now Billy wants answers. Fear and gossip have spread through the tight-knit community of Puzzle Park, and while Janie swears she can't remember the details of that morning, the cops think she's hiding something, and indeed, there's something she knows that she's not quite ready to tell anyone, not even her Nana, who won't rest until this whole thing is behind them. Shot through with remarkable humor, blah, blah, blah. This is a debut, coming of age, whodunit, blah. All right, A Bad Place, Francis Crawford. And that is it. That is the thrillers and darker side of mysteries published this week. There's some that are kind of intriguing, but I don't know if it's enough to pull me in. I don't know. Alrighty. So on Friday, we will look at the rest of the Cozy Mysteries. I believe there were, 40 published this week? Good morning, Mary. She says, good morning, PK, Dorothy, and Cajun, and everyone. Happy Wednesday. Late this morning. Was snuggled under the covers. How did Friends of the Library go yesterday? Mary says, wow, my timing was not good this morning. You are just ending up. That's okay. We still got a couple minutes before the bell rings. We can chat and sip coffee. So reading-wise, I started the new Deanna Rayburn yesterday. Came out yesterday. 10th in the Veronica Speedwell series, A Ghastly Catastrophe. I'm at 25%. And pausing on my Celtic Sampler crochet blanket because this section is confounding me. It's not the concept, there's just a section that I just don't know how she's dealing with it, and in the video it's kind of obscured by her hand, so it's kind of driving me crazy. So I'm taking a pause. It's Wednesday, so Steve has the gun range tonight. We don't have sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, but I'll probably keep reading. I've been waiting for the Veronica Speedwell for a year. since I finished the last one. And Dorothy says, "Morning, Mary." But even though I'm pausing on the Celtic blanket, I have about 12 others, so I am not hurting. Excuse me, for yarn projects. Mary says, "Actually got my beading mojo back. Yay! Made 5 pairs of earrings yesterday afternoon when I got back from the library. Library was slow yesterday, weather was miserable, and people weren't out." Gotcha. So when it's slowish, are you able to, like, browse for yourself? I would, unless they have you, like, putting stuff away. And then you can sneaky browse. I'm just saying what I would do. Mary says, "Hope you're doing much better, Dorothy." Absolutely. And hopefully you guys will, like, take a nap later when we're done here. I can't. But you would. You guys could. Sleep. Take a nap for me, please. Dorothy says, "I'll be glad when mine come back." Ah. Yeah. I tell you. Life. So, I appreciate you guys coming very much. You didn't have to, but I very much appreciate it. We recently crossed the 500 mark in our subscribers, so we are small but mighty. I very much appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a very good Wednesday. Be safe, be snuggly, read good books, and as the banner is about to say, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom. Have a good day and God bless. And Keo knows.